Ahead and call the meeting to order. If we could, please. Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll.
Mr. Blues? Ms. Crosby? Mr. Ellinger? Ms. Feigl? Ms. Gorton?
Here.
Mr. Gray? Here. Ms. Henson?
Here.
Ms. James? Mr. Lane?
Here.
Ms. Lawless?
Here.
Mr. Martin? Mr. McCord?
Here.
Mr. Myers? Mr. Stinnett? And Mr. Beard?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a quorum. It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium night for purposes of giving our invocation Chaplain Lee McGrath, who is the Director of Campus Ministry at Lexington Catholic High School. Chaplain, please rise.
Good and gracious God, we gather this evening for these proceedings to give you honor and to give you praise. We thank you, Lord, for Mayor Newberry, Vice Mayor Jim Gray, and all of the council members who you have called and anointed to be servant leaders for the people in the city and the county. We ask, Lord, that you bless them with wisdom, knowledge, justice, compassion, as they lead, defend, protect, and enhance the lives of all that they serve. We ask, Lord, in your goodness, that you give them a spirit of perseverance and patience when the work is difficult, and a spirit of joy and celebration when they see the fruits of their collective labors. And Lord, we ask your blessing tonight on those young men and their wisdom figures, their coaches and their parents, who will be honored tonight. By honoring you, Lord, with their athletic gifts, with their spirit of teamwork and cooperation and compassion for each other, they have not only honored you in the greatest way possible because they're using the gifts that you've generously given them, but in turn, tonight, they will be honored, their parents will be honored, and their school will be honored as well. We ask all good things, Lord, for this council and all their proceedings, for these young men and the adults who lead them now and in the years to come. And we ask this all in your name. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Fortunately, with some degree of regularity, we have citizens in our community who do things that merit special recognition in our state or in our nation. And tonight we have a whole bunch of folks who qualify in that regard. And not only do we have a whole bunch of folks, we also have one special individual who has received a special recognition. And that's their coach, Kevin Clary, who I would ask to come join me here at the podium for just a moment. I have a little proclamation tonight to read to recognize the Lexington Catholic baseball team for their winning a state championship. But you should also know that this fella, Coach Clary, was designated as the KHSAA Baseball Coach of the Year this year. And so we have not only a state championship team, but in a fashion, state championship coach. And congratulations to both of you. Let me read the award, the proclamation. And guys, if you would, when I read your name, if you would come up here and stand where everybody can see you for just a moment. We'll get you turned around, get a photo, and let you head out this evening. Whereas the Lexington Catholic Knights won the state baseball championship on June 13, 2009, beating Owensboro 5-3 in the Fort Bank State Tournament. And whereas first-year coach Kevin Clary led the Knights to victory before 2,728 fans at Applebee's Park and was named KHSAA Baseball Coach of the Year. And whereas the community offers its congratulations to the players, Tyler Jackson, Tyler, come on up. Taylor Martin, Troy Miller, Tyler Wells, Logan Hobson, Chris Kern, Ben Klinker, Patrick Morande, Kurt Tomasco, Taylor Botkin, Frank Carter, J.M. Cowley, Michael Sornick, Devin Williams, R.J. Carroll, Chase Armstrong, Ryan Modelino, Kyle Dorsey, Drew Harrell, Michael Jansen, Jeremy Markham, Casey Messner, and Robert Waller. And whereas this is Lexington Catholic's third state baseball championship with previous wins in 1999 and 2006, and whereas Frank Carter, where's Frank? Right here, Frank, was the tournament's most valuable player, now therefore I, Jim Newberry, Mayor of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government, do hereby proclaim Thursday, June 25th as Lexington Catholic Knights State Baseball Championship Day. Congratulations, guys, and congratulations, Coach.
First of all, on behalf of our baseball team and Lexington Catholic High School, we'd like to present Mayor Newberry with the baseball that we actually used in the state tournament. I had all the players sign it, and it's a gift of our appreciation for having us down here today. So we really appreciate him too.
Thank you. And I will display this proudly in the mayor's office for all to see as they come in over the next several months.
This year, it was a remarkable run for our guys. We were supposed to be in a down year where we lost 6 starters off last year's state championship. Well, we got beat in the semifinals, but it was supposed to be a down year for us. And our guys, they had a remarkable season. We beat a lot of teams that we weren't supposed to beat when we came to postseason. They had a genuine concern for each other that was second to none. And they kept on believing, but they made a decision to commit to be the best team they could possibly be. And I'm so proud of them. It was an honor of a lifetime to be their coach. And we're going to have some very good citizens here in our city. Thank you all.
Take this up here. We'll get a photo here. Okay. Guys, we'll let Ed set us up for a photo.
Here, push this back.
Well, do you want us to stand on the desk or? These are tall guys. Let's just wave. Yeah, so, oh, all right.
They just like, get out of here.
All right.
We have a big party here.
You can see me, I can see you. We're just upstairs. All right.
I had the good fortune of visiting with the team for just a few minutes upstairs, and I am quite confident that the coach's assessment is correct. In a few years, we will have some outstanding citizens off this baseball team. So we are very, very proud of them and look forward to having them in our community for many years to come. Madam Clerk, would you give second reading to the ordinances entitled to second reading?
Ordinance number 1, an ordinance amending Section 4-21 of the Code of Ordinances relating to impoundment of animals to provide for the humane disposal of livestock and fowl after the requisite, I can't talk. Request. Requisite impoundment, period, increasing boarding charges for impounded animals and increasing the impoundment fee for unaltered dogs and cats. Number 2, an ordinance amending Section 21-5, of the Code of Ordinances abolishing one position of staff assistant, grade 107N, in the Division of Government Communications. Number 3, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a grant from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, which grant funds are in the amount of $448,150 federal funds, are for the Brighton Rail Trail Bridge, the acceptance of which obligates the Urban County government for the expenditure of $120,000 as a local match, appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 150 and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. Number 4, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, which grant funds are in the amount of $49,126 federal funds, are for continuation of the Parent Resource Center for a Bright Future, a Healthy Tomorrow's project at the Family Care Center, the acceptance of which obligates the Urban County government for the expenditure of $100,874 as a local match, appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 151 and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. Number 5, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government to reflect current requirements for funds in the amount of $1,100 from Neighborhood Development Funds and the Division of Police for Police Activities League, and appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 152. Number 6, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government to reflect current requirements in the council office for funds in the amount of $1,500 from Neighborhood Development Funds for the Senior Intern Program, and appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 154. Number 7, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government to reflect current requirements for funds in the amount of $162,282.83 for the WIA Youth Summer Employment Program, and appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 153. Number 8, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute and submit a grant application to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to provide any additional information requested in connection with this grant application, and to accept this grant if the application is approved, which grant funds are in the amount of $173,458 federal funds are for operation of the MASH drop-in facility, the acceptance of which obligates the Urban County government for the expenditure of $17,346 to be provided by the MASH drop-in operating budget, appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010 Schedule Number 10, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. Number 9, an ordinance closing a portion of McGrath Alley, determining that all property owners abutting the portion of the street to be closed have been identified, provided with written notice of the proposed closing, and consented thereto in writing, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a quitclaim deed transferring the former right-of-way to the abutting owner, subject to the reservation of easements for access and maintenance of existing utilities in the former right-of-way. Number 10, an ordinance closing portions of Roget Drive and Mall Road, formerly West Tiverton Court, determining that all property owners abutting the portions of the streets to be closed have been identified, provided with written notice of the proposed closing, and consented thereto in writing, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute quitclaim deeds transferring the former right-of-way to the abutting owners, subject to the reservation of easements for access and maintenance of existing utilities in the former right-of-way, and authorizing and directing the mayor to accept dedication of right-of-way required for the reconfiguration of these streets. Number 11, an ordinance adopting the Newtown Pike Extension and Scott Street Connector Traffic Safety and Movement Plan relating to traffic movement safety, access, and design, providing for issuance of permits in conformance with the plan and the location and dedication of access roads, specifying the location of median openings, specifying control of access for the Scott Street Connector from the Newtown Pike Extension to the new Broadway Street Bridge, specifying locations of right turn in, right turn out access points, specifying requirements for driveways and entrances and corner clearance, providing that development other than single-family detached and two-family residential structures shall require approval of the final development plan by the Planning Commission, shall be a minimum of 2 stories, and shall comply with the Newtown Pike Extension, commercial design, and property access standards, requiring a report from the Planning Commission prior to adoption of any ordinance for altering the textual or graphic representation of this ordinance, and authorizing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to request assistance from the Commonwealth of Kentucky and any other person or entity, including the U.S. government, in implementing the provisions of the plan. Number 12, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to accept a grant from the Kentucky Heritage Council, which grant funds are in the amount of $9,968 federal funds, are for the Division of Historic Preservation's FY 2010 Survey and Planning Project, the acceptance of which obligates the Auburn County government for the expenditure of $6,645 as a local match, appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010 Schedule Number 11, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a letter of agreement amendment with the Kentucky Heritage Council for extension of the project through August 1st, 2010. Number 13, an ordinance amending Section 21-52 of the Code of Ordinances, creating one position of Environmental Enforcement Specialist, grade 115E, in the Division of Environmental Policy. Number 14, an ordinance amending Section 4-2 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the mistreatment of animals, to change the title up to the section to Care and Treatment of Animals, to define adequate food, adequate shade, adequate shelter, adequate water, and veterinary care, to require that an animal be provided adequate food, adequate water, adequate shade, and adequate, safe, and sanitary shelter, setting forth standards for collars and harnesses, and providing a penalty for violation, amending Section 4-12.2 of the Code of Ordinances relating to nuisances created by animals, to make prohibitions apply to harborers as well as owners, and creating graduated penalties, amending Section 4-12.5D and 4-12.5F of the Code of Ordinances relating to standards for kennels to conform to the definitions established in Section 4-2, and amending Section 4-19C relating to dogs running at large, to require that a dog, when off of the owner's or harborer's property, be restrained by properly fitting collar or harness physically attached to a leash or tether of appropriate material and weight. Number 15, an ordinance amending Section 7-17 of the Code of Ordinances, changing the custodian of maps, software data, etc. for GIS from the Commissioner of Finance to the Chief Information Officer. Number 16, an ordinance creating Section 15-1.31 of the Code of Ordinances relating to designating a clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games, creating Section 15-1.32 of the Code of Ordinances relating to a clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games, designating the time frame and geographical boundaries of the clean zone, creating Section 15-1.3, subsection 3 of the Code of Ordinances relating to a clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games, to encompass in the clean zone all real property within the boundaries described in Section 15-1.3, subsection 2, creating Section 15-1.3, subsection 4 of the Code of Ordinances relating to a clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games, to prohibit the unauthorized selling of goods, services, merchandise, souvenirs, and transaction of a temporary business of any kind in the clean zone, creating Section 15-1.3, subsection 5 of the Code of Ordinances relating to a clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games, to authorize existing business in the clean zone to conduct their existing authorized business in the clean zone, and prohibiting the unauthorized sale of tickets to the 2010 World Equestrian Games within the clean zone, creating Section 15-1.3, subsection 6 of the Code of Ordinances relating to a clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games, to prohibit temporary signs, streamers, banners, pennants, and inflatables within the clean zone, creating Section 15-1.3, subsection 7 of the Code of Ordinances relating to a clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games, to establish a daily fine of $1,000 for each violation of this ordinance, creating Section 15-1.3, subsection 8 of the Code of Ordinances relating to the clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games, to establish a savings clause for Section 15-1.3, creating Section 15-1.3, subsection 9 of the Code of Ordinances relating to a clean zone for the 2010 World Equestrian Games for Section 15-1.3 to expire at 12 a.m. on October 11, 2010. Number 17, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government to reflect current requirements for municipal expenditures and appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 155. Number 18, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a donation of $11,279.47 from the Family Care Center Volunteer Board, Incorporated, for support of career and life skills programming and speakers, parent education, academic enhancement, and domestic violence materials and education for the Family Care Center, and appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 156. Number 19, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a donation of $200 from the Alpha Delta chapter of ADK for early child care center classroom supplies for the Family Care Center, and appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 157. Number 20, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a donation of $50 from Mike and Julia Balog in memory of Dimple Gray for early child care center classroom supplies for the Family Care Center, and appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 158. 21, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a donation of $100 from the Family Care Center Volunteer Board, Incorporated, for a recognition award for an outstanding graduating student for the Family Care Center, and appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 159. Number 22, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a donation grant from the Easter Seals to the Commissioner of Citizens with Disabilities to cover the cost of attending the Accessibility Community Transportation Institute, to be held July 12th through the 15th, 2009 in Washington, D.C. for designated members of the Commission, appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 160 and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the donations fund. 23, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government to reflect current requirements in the Division of Code Enforcement for funds in the amount of $800 from neighborhood development funds for Redwood Drive property abatement, and appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 161. Number 24, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government to reflect current requirement in special projects and for funds in the amount of $1,000 from neighborhood development funds for prize money for the 4th of July float competition, and appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 162. Number 25, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and successors entitled on behalf of the Urban County government to execute and submit a loan application through the Kentucky Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Cabinet and the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, which such assurances and required supporting data as is necessary to obtain loan assistance from the Federally Assisted Wastewater Revolving Fund, State Revolving Loan Program, and to act as the official project representative to carry out necessary negotiations for and administer the loan assistance the Urban County government may obtain from the Federally Assisted Wastewater Revolving Fund, State Revolving Loan Program, which loan proceeds are in the amount of $237,000 federal funds, are for the Radcliffe Road Drainage Improvements Project, the acceptance of which obligates the Urban County government to repay 47.9% of the loan at a 2% annual percentage rate plus a 0.2% annual loan servicing fee, appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule FY 2010, Schedule Number 12, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the loan budget. 26, an ordinance of the Urban County Council finding that the Habitat for Humanity project for water line upgrades for 3 affordable housing units in Lanetta Avenue meets the guidelines for the expenditure of funds from the Urban Development Action Grant Repayment Fund, on authorizing the expenditure of $45,000 in such funds to assist with this project, and appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 164. Number 27, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and successors entitled on behalf of the Urban County government to execute and submit a loan application through the Kentucky Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Cabinet and the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, which such assurances and required supporting data as is necessary to obtain loan assistance from the Federally Assisted Wastewater Revolving Fund, State Revolving Loan Program, and to act as the official project representative to carry out necessary negotiations for and administer to the loan assistance the Urban County government may obtain from the Federally Assisted Wastewater Revolving Fund, State Revolving Loan Program, which loan proceeds are in the amount of $2,620,000 federal funds, are for the Downtown Streetscape Green Infrastructure Program initiative, the acceptance of which obligates the Urban County government to repay 47.9% of the loan at a 2% annual percentage rate plus a 0.2% annual loan servicing fee, appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule FY 2010, Schedule Number 13, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the loan budget. 28, an ordinance approving and adopting a substantial amendment to the 2008 Consolidated Fund Plan for use of funds for the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which grant funds are in the amount of $555,600 federal funds, are for the weatherization program, $245,000, and a single-family housing rehabilitation program, $310,600, the acceptance of which does not obligate the Urban County government for the expenditure of funds, appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010 Schedule Number 14, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. 29, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a grant from the Kentucky Department of Local Government, which grant funds are in the amount of $1,371,047 federal funds, are for the land banking activities, the acceptance of which does not obligate the Urban County government for the expenditure of funds, appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010 Schedule 15, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. Number 30, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a grant from the Kentucky Department of Local Government, which grant funds are in the amount of $512,000 federal funds under the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, or for the redevelopment project to be implemented by REACH Incorporated, the acceptance of which does not obligate the Urban County government for the expenditure of funds, appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010 Schedule Number 16, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. Number 31, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a contract addendum with the Lexington County Health Department, accepting the additional funding in the amount of $160,416 for the Home Network Project, a home visitation program at the Family Care Center, and appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 163. Number 32, an ordinance appropriating the revenues, expenditures, expenses, and interfund transfers of the General Services District Fund, the Tenant Relocation Fund, the Urban Services District Fund, the Police Confiscated Federal Fund, the Police Confiscated State Fund, the Public Safety Fund, the Spay and Neuter Fund, the Industrial Revenue Bond Fund, the Municipal Aid Program Fund, the County Road Aid Fund, the Mineral Severance Fund, the Coal Severance Fund, the Miscellaneous Special Revenue Fund, the Sanitary Sewer Revenue and Operating Fund, the Sanitary Sewer Construction Fund, the Stormwater Fund, the Landfill Fund, the Right-of-Way Program Fund, the City Employees Pension Fund, the Policemen's and Firefighters Retirement Fund of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government, the Extended School Program Fund, the Prisoners Account Fund, the Enhanced 911 Fund, the Lex Van Program Fund, the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Public Facilities Corporation General Fund, the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Public Facilities Corporation's Parks Projects Funds, the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Public Parking Corporation Fund, the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Public Library Corporation Fund, the Medical Insurance Fund, the Property and Casualty Claims Fund, the FY 2005 Bonds Projects Fund, and the FY 2010 Bond Projects Fund on a divisional level by 4 control levels for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2010 for the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government and its agencies and instrumentalities, approving and adopting the Capital Improvements Program for fiscal years FY 2010 through FY 2015 as a portion of the fiscal year 2010 annual capital improvements budget, suspending Section 5.1 of the Economic Contingency Ordinance Number 78/2006, and approving funding for the Lexington Fayette Urban County Tourist and Convention Commission from the transient room tax, said funding to equal 99.5% of the revenue from the tax. And number 33, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government to reflect current requirements for municipal expenditures, and appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 165.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Is there a motion to approve those ordinances? All right. Councilmember Blues.
Thank you, Mayor. Colleagues, you'll remember that on the second reading of the ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement for purchase of property for a new recycling center was tabled at the June 11 council meeting at the administration's request to work out some remaining details of the agreement. These details, as I understand it, have now been cleared, and a deadline of July 15 set for closing on the purchase. And therefore, I move to take from the table and place on the docket for second reading the ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a purchase agreement with Frankfurt Court, LLC, for the purchase of a portion of the property located at 2401 Old Frankfurt Pike. So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Blues and a second by Councilmember Myers to take that item from the table and give it second reading. Is there any discussion? stand corrected here. Motions to take from the table are not debatable. So motion is to take that item from the table and give it second reading. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Madam Clerk?
Ordinance number 33A, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a purchase agreement and any other necessary closing documents with Frankfurt Court LLC for the purchase of lots 3 through 9 of the property located at 2401 Old Frankfurt Pike at a cost not to exceed $1,665,950 and appropriating funds pursuant to Schedule Number 148.
Thank you. Now, is there a motion to approve those resolutions, those ordinances? Councilmember Blues has made that motion. Do I hear a second? Councilmember Wallace has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question for legal. Logan, item 14 is the ordinance regarding the care and treatment of animals. And this was coming through, I brought to everyone's attention what I thought were some fairly significant deficiencies in this ordinance, and I thought the representation was made that there were going to be some effort to try to come up with a second draft in order to address a lot of those problems. Also, this ordinance does not, it's really specifically addressed toward dogs, but does not address other types of animals. Did any of that get done, I guess?
I don't know. That's the short answer, but my recollection was that the committee that was looking at it wanted to move forward with what we had. And then I don't know that the committee asked us to do anything further. I see some council members shaking their heads, but I mean, if you all would like for us to do something further, we certainly will, but I believe the committee wanted to advance this particular ordinance.
I just think that we need a higher standard for adopting ordinances than is really represented in this. I don't think this is the best effort we could do. Even if we don't change any of the substance of it, it contradicts itself, and it is not a very well-written ordinance. So I guess I have a problem supporting it for that reason. I also think that since we are the horse capital of the world, the fact that our animal cruelty ordinance doesn't address horses is a rather serious oversight. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Councilmember, Councilmember Wallace, then Lane.
First of all, while our state laws on animal cruelty, I don't believe are nearly strong enough, and I don't think this is a perfect ordinance because there are some issues we didn't address. Horses and bunnies and other animals are in the state statute. And to hold this up when it will give some protection to some animals, I think would be a mistake. So while I would like to see it beefed up and we can keep on working on it and have all agree, or many of us agree to keep on it, I hope that this will pass today. Thank you.
Councilmember Lane.
Thank you, Mayor. I too felt like this ordinance needed some improvements on it. I think Councilmember Stinnett suggested that we go ahead and pass this ordinance because we do need to look after the dogs, and it is during the summer and the temperatures are extremely hot. So I don't have an issue with voting for that tonight, but I would like to see the legal department immediately work on bringing in a revised ordinance that covers, the horse industry in particular, and it's just a little cleaner ordinance than one we're voting on tonight.
Mayor, we will be happy to do that. I don't know whether there was sufficient direction at the committee meeting, but if there's some ideas that you all want to see, if we already have those, great. If you don't, we need to see them, and we'll certainly incorporate those into a revised ordinance.
Thank you. Councilmember Beard.
Oops, sorry, it was already turned on. I think the question about horses and like animals probably rises to the level that it needs its own ordinance. There's some very special, significant differences between obviously horses and dogs, and for that matter, cows and other farm animals. But to try to get some kind of omnibus cruelty law drafted could take forever. And I agree that horses, especially with us being the horse capital of the world, we should be most sensitive to the care and support of those animals. And just a thing in the paper today, another incident in nearby counties of 13 horses being abused by an owner. And you know, we I guess we can't worry about the other counties, but we sure can worry about Fayette County. So I would suggest that we maybe put that issue into committee and see if we can't get something done about that. I'm not sure which is the appropriate committee for that. Is that the, pardon me? Services, maybe? I would move that happen.
I think the appropriate time for that motion would be after the resolution
Probably
is
so.
the one that's currently on the floor, so I'll
Okay,
come back
that's
to
fine.
you then, if we could. The motion on the floor now is the approval of the ordinances that receive second reading. Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. The problem is that the definitions in this ordinance all refer to dogs, but the text of the ordinance refers to animals. It talks about shelters for animals. You go look at the definition of shelters, and it's something for a dog. I'm willing to support this tonight, but I guess on the understanding that we have an effort to redraft this ordinance to correct some of these deficiencies, because I have a problem voting for something that is this inconsistent with itself. Apart from the policy of it, I just think we need to do a better job as we adopt ordinances here at the city. So if we can do that, then I guess I'll support this for the here and now, but we should clean this up. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Gorton.
Thank you, Mayor. I certainly respect your opinion on that, Councilmember Martin. The council did vote to put this on the docket for an up or down vote tonight. And so it did go through the process that we normally have to put an item on the docket. So, this stands alone, and any future ordinance that would apply to other animals would also stand alone and go through the same sort of process. So it's here because the council voted it here. And so I'm very supportive of it, and I hope that someone will make a motion to do the future one.
Someone's
All
going
right.
to.
The motion on the floor then is the approval, is to approve the ordinances receiving second reading tonight. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Those in favor, please vote aye electronically. Those opposed, vote nay. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Blues? Yes. Ms. Crosby? Mr. Ellinger?
Oh, is this all of them?
Yes, this is.
Yes, and then no on 33A.
I'll denote that.
No on 32, no on 33A, yes on the rest.
No on 33A. And I'd like to explain my vote on that later, whenever it's appropriate.
Mr. Ellinger, you said no on 33 and 33A?
32 and 33A.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Gray, you said no on
33A.
33A?
Oh.
Ms. Henson?
Yes.
Ms. James? Yes. Mr. Lane?
Yes.
Ms. Lawless?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. McCord?
Yes.
Mr. Myers? Mr. Stinnett? And Mr. Beard?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Did you call Councilmember Gorton's name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Gorton.
Hi.
Sorry about that. Mr. Gray spoke up, and I just skipped right over it. Sorry.
All right. Councilmember Beard, I think you were interested in making a motion.
I would move that we place into Services Committee the issue of, as Councilmember Martin mentioned, maybe of amending and/or writing new ordinances that apply more specifically to the type of animals we're talking about, and with special emphasis on horses, mules, ponies, donkeys, and like animals, I guess, that we pride ourselves in supporting. So I'd like to see that go into services and let them hammer it out.
Do I hear a second? Have a second by Councilmember Henson. Any discussion on the motion to refer the matter to Services Committee? Then all in favor of referring that matter to the Services Committee, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. All right. Madam Clerk, if you would give first reading to the ordinances entitled to first reading.
Ordinance number 34, an ordinance changing the zone from a single-family residential R1D zone to a neighborhood business B1 zone for a 1.36 net, 1.83 gross acres of property located at 2981 Cadentown Road and 3097, a portion of Old Todd's Road, subject to certain use restrictions imposed as conditions of granting the zone change. Todd's Road Development, LLC. Number 35, an ordinance amending Articles 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 16, 18, 22, 26, 28, and 29 of the zoning ordinance to clarify and modify regulations and the defined infill and redevelopment area, to expand the limits of mixed uses, changed parking requirements and accessory dwelling units, and increase the flexibility of the design of the neighborhood character design overlay ND1 zone. 36, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute and submit a grant application to the U.S. Department of Justice to provide any additional information requested in connection with this grant application and to accept this grant if the application is approved, which grant funds are in the amount of $410,023 federal funds are for installation of wireless mesh network inside of New Circle Road for the Division of Police, the acceptance of which does not obligate the Urban County government for the expenditure of funds appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010 Schedule Number 17, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. Number 37, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a grant from the Kentucky Justice and Public Safety Cabinet, which grant funds are in the amount of $2,063,763 Commonwealth of Kentucky funds, are for police training incentive funds, for the acceptance which does not obligate the Urban County government for the expenditure of funds appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010 Schedule Number 18, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. Number 38, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to accept a grant from the Commission on Fire Protection, Personnel Standards, and Education, which grant funds are in the amount of $1,875,159 Commonwealth of Kentucky funds, are for the training incentive funds for firefighters, the acceptance of which does not obligate the Urban County government for the expenditure of funds appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010 Schedule Number 19, and authorizing the mayor to transfer unencumbered funds within the grant budget. Number 39, an ordinance ratifying the 2009 Division of Community Corrections Policy and Procedural Manual and adopting it in lieu of the Policy and Procedures Manual adopted in Ordinance Number 219/2007, which provides procedures for general management, public information, inmate information system, and inmate records, budgeting and accounting, inmate accounts, commissary staffing, disciplinary actions, sworn status, appearance, code of ethics, court proceedings, personnel records, physical fitness, training requirements, off-duty employment, drug-free workplace policy, employee assistance program, tobacco-free, no smoking designation, admissions, commitment authority, inmate records, inmate searches, inmate property orientation, transfer and release, objective classification, security assessments, custody assessments, disciplinary segregation, administrative segregation, inmate supervision, security procedures, inspections, searches, transportations of inmates, use of restraints, use of force, weapons, use of firearms, emergency procedures and operations, inmate health care, food service procedures, equipment maintenance, control and use of dangerous materials, sanitation, hygiene, inmate services unit, statement of inmate rights, disciplinary offenses, hearing procedures, inmate grievance procedures, probation services unit, community alternative programs goals, drug testing unit, and community service unit. Number 40, an ordinance amending Section 21-52 of the Code of Ordinances, abolishing one position of payroll analyst, grade 115E in the Division of Accounting, and creating one position of payroll analyst, grade 115E in the Division of Human Resources, appropriating funds pursuant to FY 2010, Schedule Number 20, and transferring the incumbent. 41, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government to reflect current requirements for municipal expenditures and appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 21. And 42, an ordinance amending certain of the budgets of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government to reflect current requirements for funds in the amount of $1,483,300 for the recycling center equipment purchase and the appropriating and reappropriating funds, Schedule Number 22.
Thank you very much. That concludes the reading of the ordinances entitled to first reading. If there are no motions to take up at this time, Madam Clerk, would you proceed to give second reading to the resolutions that are entitled to second reading?
Resolution number 1, a resolution accepting the bids of Worldwide Equipment and Andino Industrial Electric Incorporated, Bluegrass International Trucks, CarQuest Auto Parts, Republic Diesel, S&S Tire Truck, Alignment and Brake Center Incorporated, Bill Collins Ford LM, C&M Auto Electric Incorporated, Alton Blakely Ford Line, Mercury, Mazda, Honda, Suzuki, Freedom Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Peterbilt of Louisville, Fleet Pride Incorporated, Wayne Supply Company Incorporated, KOI Auto Parts, Powertrain of Kentucky, and Action Remanufactured Engines LLC, establishing price contracts for automotive and truck parts for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 2, a resolution accepting the bids of Blonde Lighting and Fixture, Gray Bar Electric, West Light Supply Company Incorporated, Brock McVeigh Incorporated, and Kiana Packaging and Industrial Supply, establishing a price contracts for bulbs and ballasts for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management and Community Corrections. Number 3, a resolution accepting the bid of Omaha Standard Louisville, establishing a price contract for utility body sewers for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 4, a resolution accepting the bid of ELXSI, doing business as Q's, in the amount of $173,780 for van equipped with television equipment for sewer inspection for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 5, a resolution accepting the bid of Ennis Paint Incorporated, establishing a price contract for thermoplastic retroflective pavement markings for the Division of Traffic Engineering. Number 6, a resolution accepting the bid of Bradley Hook It Up Mobile LLC, establishing a price contract for vehicle steam cleaning for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 7, a resolution accepting the bid of Stony Brook Construction Incorporated in the amount of $22,000 for restroom renovation, coroner's office for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 8, a resolution accepting the bid of Slate Creek Contracting Services in the amount of $49,800 for the Fire Training Center restroom renovation for the Division of Fire and Emergency Services. Number 9, a resolution accepting the bid of RCS Communications System Incorporated, doing business as RCS Communications, establishing a price contract for prisoner restraint cages for the Division of Police. Number 10, a resolution accepting the bid of Judy Construction Company in the amount of $722,250 for the West Hickman Wastewater Treatment Plant equipment improvements for the Division of Water Quality, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an agreement with Judy Construction Company related to the bid. Number 11, a resolution accepting the bid of National Water Services in the amount of $1,027,000 for the West Hickman Screw Pump Removal Replacement Phase 3 for the Division of Water Quality, and authorizing and directing on the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an agreement with National Water Services related to the bid. Number 12, a resolution accepting the bid of Team Contracting LLC in the amount of $1,340,000 for the Town Branch Wastewater Treatment Plant by Primary Effluent Pump Station Pumps Replacement for the Division of Water Quality, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an agreement with Team Contracting LLC related to the bid. 13, a resolution accepting the bid of Municipal Equipment Incorporated in the amount of $158,340 for a vacuum sweeper for the Division of Waste Management. Number 14, a resolution accepting the bid of Municipal Equipment Incorporated in the amount of $87,750 for a knuckle boom truck used for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 15, a resolution accepting the bid of Information Station Specialist Incorporated in the amount of $106,960 for AM alert radios for the Division of Environmental and Emergency Management Services. Number 16, a resolution accepting the bids of Regal Chemical Company, Lesco Incorporated, Advanced Turf Solutions, Harrell's LLC, and the Hill Company, establishing price contracts for golf course horticultural products for the Division of Parks and Recreation. Number 17, a resolution accepting the bid of Keisler Police Supply Incorporated, establishing a price contract for ammunition for the Division of Police. Number 18, a resolution accepting the bid of ELXSI, doing business as Q's, in the amount of $161,562 for a van equipped with pipeline television inspection system for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 19, a resolution accepting the bid of Lexington Manufacturing Center, doing business as Opportunity Workshop of Lexington Incorporated, establishing a price contract for custodial services for Safety City for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 20, a resolution accepting the bid of R&L Cleaning Service, establishing a price contract for custodial services for youth services for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. 21, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute an agreement with Simons Building Technologies Incorporated for the fire alarms testing and inspection for the Division of Community Corrections at a cost not to exceed $23,917. Number 22, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a HIPAA Business Associate Agreement with the Lexington Fayette County Health Department for sharing of information at no cost to the government. 23, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Arbor Masters Tree Service for additional ice storm cleanup services at various parks for the Division of Parks and Recreation, increasing the contract price by the sum of $15,145.02 from $26,000 to $41,145.02. 24, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute change order number 1 final to the contract with Woodall Construction Company Incorporated for the 12th Street Neighborhood Improvements Project, increasing the contract price by the sum of $32,999.28 from $459,030 to $492,029.28. 25, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute change order number 1 final to the contract with Central Rock Mineral Company, LLC, for the Star Chute Parkway Extension Project, decreasing the contract price by the sum of $21,163.48 from $1,861,910.79 to $1,840,747.31. Number 26, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute change order number 1 to the contract with MAC Construction and Excavating Incorporated for the Meadows Northland Arlington Neighborhood Improvement Project, increasing the contract price by the sum of $33,140.44 from $1,176,755 to $1,209,895.44. Number 27, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute an agreement with Metaformers Incorporated for provision of programming services for the Office of Internal Audit at a cost not to exceed $35,040. 28, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a maintenance agreement with A.B. Dick Copycat Incorporated for copier maintenance at a cost not to exceed $12,372. 29, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a certificate of consideration and accept a deed conveying a permanent sidewalk easement and a temporary construction easement from BVI Double Drive Through Incorporated and Louise Means for the property located at 410 Georgetown Street for the Georgetown Street Sidewalk Project, and authorizing payment in the amount of $750 plus usual and appropriate closing costs. Number 30, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a certificate of consideration and accept a deed for the property located at 134 Northwood Drive from Donald and Joan Crawford for the Northwood Drive Stormwater Project, and authorizing payment in the amount of $111,700 plus usual and appropriate closing costs. 31, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute 4 partial releases of easement, releasing portions of a sanitary sewer easement on property located at 1950 Fort Herod Drive. 32, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a certificate of consideration and authorizing and other necessary documents for property interest needed for the Loch Lomond Drainage Improvements Project at a cost not to exceed $225,000. Number 33, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute an interlocal cooperation agreement with the Commonwealth of Kentucky and Board of Education of Fayette County, Kentucky to establish the Lexington Fayette Auburn County Land Bank Authority at no cost to the Auburn County government. 34, a resolution authorizing a resolution amending sections 1 and 2 of resolution number 328, 2009, which authorized and directed the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute agreements for various public purpose projects for the office of the Auburn County Council, deleting the allocation to Lafayette High School Girls Booster Club Incorporated for $1,000. 35, a resolution amending Resolution Number 122, 2009, canceling the adopt-a-spot agreement with Tates Creek High School Lacrosse Club, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a rural and intercity adopt-a-spot program agreement with Bluegrass Youth Development Center for participation in the adopt-a-spot roadway cleanup program at a cost not to exceed $522.98. Number 36, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute agreements with CASA of Lexington Incorporated, $1,225, Hunting Hills Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $500, Georgetown Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,575, Southern Heights Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,500, and Overbrook Place Homeowners Association Incorporated, $1,500 for the office of the Urban County Council at a cost not to exceed the sums stated. Number 37, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute agreements with CASA of Lexington Incorporated, $100, Friends of Raven Run Incorporated, $1,500, Cumberland Hill Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $500, Pine Meadows Cardinal Hill Mason Headley Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $2,500, Gulfview Estates Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,000, and Neighbors of Bryan Station Incorporated, $800 for the office of the Urban County Council at a cost not to exceed the sums stated. Number 38, a resolution accepting and adopting the financial audit report prepared by the Blue and Company LLC for the audit of the Family Care Center Health Clinic covering the period from July 1, 2007 to June 30, 2008. 39, a resolution adopting the arbitration opinion and award with regard to the disciplinary matter relating to firefighter Christopher Need, except that the provision finding that firefighter Need may be entitled to unscheduled overtime pay is not adopted, and further noting that all parties to the arbitration agree that the adoption of the arbitration opinion and award with the noted exception is complete and final resolution to this disciplinary matter. Number 40, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an engineering services agreement with H.W. Lochner Incorporated for right-of-way services for Newtown Pike Extension Project mitigation area at a cost not to exceed $196,650. Number 41, a resolution supporting the use of Blue Horse logo by the Lexington Convention and Visitors Bureau and authorizing and directing the Lexington-Fayette Urban County government to work in conjunction with the Lexington Convention and Visitors Bureau and any other necessary parties in placing the Blue Horse logo on wayfinding signs and in developing other uses by the Lexington-Fayette Urban County government that promote Lexington-Fayette County, Kentucky. 42, a resolution ratifying the probationary service appointments of David Stone, Administrative Officer, Senior, grade 120E, $3,269.28 biweekly in the Department of Environmental Quality, effective June 15, 2009. Sarah Johnson, Social Worker, grade 113E, $1,154.80 biweekly in the Division of Youth Services, effective June 22, 2009. Chester Keel, Administrative Specialist Principal, grade 114E, $1,958 biweekly in the Division of Police, effective June 8, 2009. Hannah Laura Bloom, Administrative Officer, grade 118E, $2,839.44 biweekly in the Division of Waste Management, effective June 8, 2009. Charles Bowen, Telecommunicator, grade 111N, $18.246 hourly in the Division of Emergency Management 911, effective June 22, 2009. Douglas Turner, Telecommunicator, grade 111N, $18.246 hourly in the Division of Emergency Management 911, effective June 22, 2009. Michelle Haynes, Telecommunicator, grade 111N, $18.246 hourly in the Division of Emergency Management 911, effective June 22, 2009. Vonda Milton, Human Resources Manager, Senior, grade 121E, $3,076.92 biweekly in the Division of Human Resources, effective June 15, 2009. Curtis Hale, Telecommunicator, Senior, grade 113N, $18.051 hourly in the Division of Emergency Management 911, effective June 22, 2009. Ratifying the probationary sworn appointments of Charles Bonta, Fire Captain, grade 316N, $21.77 hourly in the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, effective April 13, 2009. Gregory Beck, Fire Lieutenant, grade 315N, $16.806 hourly in the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, effective April 13, 2009. Sam Murdoch, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, $27.13 hourly in the Division of Police, effective June 15, 2009. Maria Roberts, Fire Captain, grade 316N, $21.770 hourly in the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, effective May 25, 2009. Lee Hayden, Fire Lieutenant, grade 315N, $16.806 hourly in the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, effective May 25, 2009. Ratifying the probationary Community Corrections Officer appointments of Jacob Crawford, Yolanda Elko, Nicholas Elko, Dustin Wynn, Community Corrections Sergeant, grade 112N, $22.520 hourly in the Division of Community Corrections, effective May 11, 2009.
approving the unclassified civil service appointments of Charles Mead, van driver, grade 104N, 9.146 hourly in the Department of Social Services effective June 8, 2009. Number 43, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an agreement with granting additional responsibility pursuant to KRS 198B.0605 with the Kentucky's Department of Housing, Buildings, and Construction, specifying the enforcement responsibilities within Lexington Fayette County at no cost to the Urban County government. Number 44, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a certificate of consideration and to accept a deed for the property located at 133 Northwood Drive from Stephen and Linda Watts for the Northwood Drive Stormwater Project, and authorizing payment in the amount of $116,700 plus usual and appropriate closing costs. Number 45, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an official merchandiser agreement with Hands-On Originals for Spotlight Lexington at no cost to the Urban County government. Number 46, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a representing sponsorship agreement with St. Joseph Health Systems for Spotlight Lexington at no cost to the Urban County government. Number 47, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a sixth amendment to agreement with Amera National Community Services Incorporated for loan servicing for the home and CDBG housing rehabilitation and home ownership programs to extend the agreement through June 30, 2010 at an additional cost not to exceed $30,000. Number 48, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Strand Associates Incorporated for the feasibility study and engineering design of the Legacy Trail project, increasing the contract price of the sum of $573,300 from $496,000 to $1,069,300. 49, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Strand Associates Incorporated for the Town Branch Wastewater Treatment Primary Effluent Pump Station Pump Replacement Design Project, increasing the contract price by the sum of $13,203 from $64,000 to $77,203. Number 50, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute change order number 2 to the contract with Jarbo Construction Incorporated for the Carver Center passenger elevator, increasing the contract price by the sum of $2,972.96 from $128,325 to $131,297.96. Number 51, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an engineering services agreement with HDR Engineering Incorporated for the Wolf Run Pump Station expansion and relocation project at a cost not to exceed $368,550. Number 52, a resolution approving the FY 2010 budget for the Transit Authority of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government, LexTran, pursuant to KRS 96A.360, and requesting that the acting commissioner of finance authorize the Fayette County Sheriff's Office to disperse the funds to LexTran collected from the ad valorem tax approved by voters on November 9, 2004. 53, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a lease agreement with Kentucky Medical Services Foundation Incorporated, FBO, University of Kentucky, and an asset transfer agreement with the University of Kentucky, under which the University of Kentucky will lease and operate the Family Care Center Health Clinic at 1135 Red Mile Road. Number 54, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a contract with Thompson West for online legal research and publications at a cost not to exceed $35,000. And number 55, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute agreements with Kentucky Humanities Council Incorporated, $650, Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association Incorporated, $2,000, Bryan Station High School Alumni Association Incorporated, $425, Psi Tau Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, $325, Forest View Town Homes Association Incorporated, $500, Woodfield Homes Association Incorporated, $1,125, Health Waste Rail System Incorporated, $5,700. Antioch Missionary Baptist Church Incorporated, $200. Highlands Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $200. Georgetown Street Area Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,635. Oakwood Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $300. Hope Center Incorporated, $1,000. Hope Center Incorporated, $1,000. Columbia Heights Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,000. Mintel Park Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,000. Seven Parks Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $600. The Southland Association Incorporated, $500. Isaac Scott Hathaway Museum Incorporated, $350. Girls on the Run Lexington Corporation, $500. Squire Oak Homeowners Association Incorporated, $1,000. Andover Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,000. Bluegrass Fraternal Order of Police, $1,000. Wood Hill Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,700. Stewart Hall Homeowners Association Incorporated, $1,000. Walnut Creek Homeowners Association Incorporated, $1,000. Charlesburg Maintenance Association Incorporated, $1,000. East Lake Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,000. And Citizens Fire Academy Alumni Association of Lexington, Kentucky Incorporated, $3,155 for the Office of the Urban County Council at a cost not to exceed the sums stated.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That concludes the reading of the resolutions entitled to second reading. Is there a motion to approve them? Have a motion from Councilmember Crosby. Do I hear a second? Councilmember Lane. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Those in favor of approving the resolutions receiving second reading this evening, please indicate by voting aye electronically. Those opposed, vote nay electronically. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Blues? Ms. Crosby? Mr. Ellinger? Ms. Gorton?
Aye.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Ms. Henson?
I need to recuse on number 1 and yes on the rest.
The record will reflect that. Ms. James? Mr. Lane?
Yes.
Ms. Lawless?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. McCord?
Yes on all except 52.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Stinnett? The record will reflect that. Mr. Beard?
Yes on all, no on number 41.
The record will reflect that.
Thank you. Those resolutions are approved. Madam Clerk, if you would give first reading to the resolutions entitled to first reading.
Number 56, a resolution accepting the bid of Denham Blythe Company Incorporated in the amount of $5,560,322.66 for the Lyric Theater renovation and addition for the mayor's office, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an agreement with Denham Blythe Company Incorporated related to the bid. Number 57, a resolution accepting the bid of Pedal Power Bike Shop Incorporated, establishing a price contract for police bicycles for the Division of Police. 58, a resolution accepting the bid of Pathmaster Incorporated, establishing a price contract for illuminated street signs for the Division of Traffic Engineering. Number 59, a resolution accepting the bids of KOA Auto Parts, Republic Diesel, Powertrain of Kentucky, Fleet Pride, Worldwide Equipment, and Applied Industrial Technologies Incorporated, establishing price contracts for filters for the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management. Number 60, a resolution accepting the bid of Schroeder Construction in the amount of $356,416 for the pump station upgrade at Haley Pike Landfill for the Department of Environmental Quality, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an agreement with Schroeder Construction related to the bid. Number 61, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute change order number 1 to the design services contract with CDP Engineers Incorporated for the Radcliffe Road Drainage Project in order to meet the economic stimulus funding requirements of the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, increasing the contract price by the sum of $8,000 from $43,500 to $51,500. Number 62, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute change order number 1 to the contract with G&G Paving and Construction Incorporated for Valley Park parking renovation, increasing the contract price by the sum of $3,600 from $37,100 to $40,700. 63, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute lease with MES Enterprises LLC for the lease of space for Project Synergy at a cost not to exceed $49,725. 64, a resolution amending Section 1 of Resolution Number 322, 2008, which authorized and directed the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute an amendment to the agreement with the Georgetown Neighborhood Association, decreasing the allocation from $5,000 to $2,980 and reflecting a change in the use of the funds from sidewalk repair in Douglas Park to ceiling tile installation in the community center at no additional cost to the Auburn County government. Number 65, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a certificate of consideration and accept a deed conveying a permanent sidewalk easement from the Edna Ray Kearns estate for the property located at 463 Shawnee Avenue for Phase 3C of the Meadows Northland Arlington Neighborhood Improvements Project, and authorizing payment in the amount of $100 plus usual and appropriate closing costs. Number 66, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute a certificate of consideration and other necessary documents for property interest needed for the flood hazard mitigation project in the Fort Sumter Drive, Gale Drive, Cabot Drive, and Shandon Drive area at a cost not to exceed $1,146,090. 67, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to accept a donation from Kentucky's Division of Emergency Management and the Jessamine County Emergency Management Agency of batteries, monitors, wristbands, and medical bags for the use of the Division of Fire and Emergency Services and the Division of Emergency Management 911 at no cost to the Auburn County government. Number 68, a resolution amending Section 2C of Resolution Number 350, 2009 to change the reference to 372 Glenarvan Avenue to 372.5 Glenarvan Avenue, effective retroactive to May 14, 2009. 69, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute an amendment to the plan management agreement and the stop-loss policy with Humana Insurance Company for the administration of health care claims for the period of January 1, 2009 through December 31, 2009. Number 70, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to accept a donation from Bluegrass Crime Stoppers for the attendance of Detective Robert Sarantino at the Crime Stoppers USA National Conference for use at the Division of Police at no cost to the Auburn County government. Number 71, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute and submit a grant application to the U.S. Department of Justice and to provide any additional information requested in connection with this grant application, which grant funds are in the amount of $46,550 federal funds and are for the purchase of bulletproof vests for the Division of Police, for the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, and the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. Number 72, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute agreements with Lansdale Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $150, Zandale Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $150, Creative Beginnings Child Development Center, $1,500, Gainesway Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $500, Stonewall Community Association Incorporated, $600, Wood Hill Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $6,621, Park Place Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $5,600. CASA of Lexington Incorporated, $305. Cardinal Valley Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $650. Copperville Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,000. And South Lexington Youth Baseball Incorporated, $500 for the office of the Auburn County Council at a cost not to exceed the sums stated. Number 73, a resolution ratifying the probationary civil service appointments of Robin Adams, Total Rewards Assistant, grade 112N, 20.891 hourly in the Division of Human Resources, effective June 22, 2009. Ratifying the permanent civil service appointments of Kenneth Johns, GIS Specialist, grade 114N in the Division of Computer Services, effective April 27, 2009. Jody Evans, Heavy Equipment Technician, grade 113N in the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, effective April 27, 2009. James Wilson, Administrative Officer, grade 118E in the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management, effective June 8, 2009. Ratifying the probationary sworn appointments of Brandon Allen, Owen Branham, Justin D., Jeremy Edens, Scott Fett, Gregory Hudgens, Christopher Ennis, Robert Johnson, Jeremiah Littrell, Justin May, Joshua McCoy, Jessica Rash, Kerry Taylor, Jonathan Turner, Casey Wiley, firefighters, grade 311N, 17.027 hourly in the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, effective July 8, 2009. Ratifying the permanent sworn appointments of Jones Hyatt, James Lowe, April McCrickard, Kevin Metcalf, Franklin Patrick, Ronald Spurlock, Jason Yeager, Police Sergeant, grade 315N in the Division of Police, effective August 18, 2008. Kevin Goldie, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective September 14, 2008. Andrew Doherty, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective October 28, 2008. Sean Ray Joseph Eckert, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective February 18, 2009. Kevin Kidd, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective April 13, 2009. Joseph Blakely, Police Lieutenant, grade 317E, in the Division of Police, effective August 18, 2008. Gary Sennett, Police Lieutenant, grade 317E, in the Division of Police, effective September 14, 2008. David Markham, Police Lieutenant, grade 317E, in the Division of Police, effective November 19, 2008. Wallace Hayes, Police Lieutenant, grade 317E, in the Division of Police, effective February 18, 2009, ratifying the probationary Community Corrections Officer appointments of Timothy Bowen, Robert Rourke, Community Corrections Sergeant, grade 112N, 22.520 hourly in the Division of Community Corrections, effective June 22, 2009, ratifying the permanent Community Corrections Officer appointments of Crystal Bailey, Jill Dionisio, Lee Johnson, Sylvia Logan, Glenn Magnus, Community Corrections Officer, grade 110N, in the Division of Community Corrections, effective May 24, 2009. Nicholas Alexander, Michael Arvin, Clarence Houston, Jonathan Vago, Community Corrections Officer, grade 110N, in the Division of Community Corrections, effective June 6, 2009. Number 74, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute an agreement with Art in Motion Incorporated for the Artistic Bust Shelter at 3rd Street and Elm Tree Lane Neighborhood Development Bond Funds at a cost not to exceed $35,950. 75, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute a statement of compliance with the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for bridge posting requirements. Number 76, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute change order number 2, final to the contract with W. Rogers Company for the North Elkhorn Pump Station project, increasing the contract price by the sum of $56,289.95 from $4,077,710 to $4,133,999.95. Number 77, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute an engineering services agreement with Stan Tech Consulting Services Incorporated for sanitary sewer assessment groups 2 and 3 field activities at a cost not to exceed $599,200. 78, a resolution accepting the bid of MachineX Technologies Incorporated in the amount of $3,516,455 for the upgrade of equipment at the Material Recovery Facility for the Division of Waste Management, subject to sufficient funds being appropriated in FY 2010, and appropriating and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute an agreement with MachineX Technologies Incorporated related to the bid. Number 79, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute a purchase of service agreement with Roots and Heritage Festival Incorporated for the 2009 Roots and Heritage Festival at a cost not to exceed $39,350. Number 80, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute a purchase of service agreement with Explorium of Lexington to provide services to the community at a cost not to exceed $203,060. Number 81, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute a partial release of easement, releasing a portion of a forced main sewer easement on property located at Polo Club Center, 6409 through 6413 Polo Club Lane. 82, a resolution suspending the voting power of the Corridors Committee until such time as the Urban County Council by ordinance establishes the Corridors Commission. 83, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to accept proposals for FY 2010 from Kentucky League of Cities for and on behalf of the New York Marine for excess workers' compensation insurance at a cost not to exceed $258,930, and for and on behalf of the Public Entity Property Insurance Program for excess property insurance at a cost not to exceed $283,031, and for and on behalf of ACE USA for the International Package Insurance at a cost not to exceed $4,060. Subject to a premium audit and subject to sufficient funds being appropriated for the purposes and authorizing payment to Kentucky League of Cities on behalf of New York Marine Public Entity Property Insurance Program and ACE USA. Number 84, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute certificates of consideration and other necessary documents for property interest needed for the Green Acres Stormwater Project at a cost not to exceed $950,000. 85, a resolution declaring as surplus and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a deed and any other necessary documents for the sale and transfer of property located at 189 Elm Tree Lane, and declaring as surplus and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government and the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Public Facilities Corporation to execute deeds and any other necessary documents for the sale and transfer of property located at 191, 193, 195, and 197 Elm Tree Lane and 270 East 2nd Street. Number 86, a resolution adopting the Downtown Lexington Master Plan as a conceptual plan. Number 87, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute agreements with Harrods Hill Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $750, the Salvation Army, $2,000, North Elizabeth Street Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $600, God's Pantry Food Bank Incorporated, $1,300, Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bluegrass Incorporated, $1,300, Lexington Humane Society, $450, Lexington Celtic AAU Basketball Corporation, $250, Eastland Parkway Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $500, Cadentown Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $600, Deep Springs Elementary PTA, $500, and North Point Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $500 for the office of the Urban County Council at a cost not to exceed the sums stated. Number 88, a resolution amending Section 4.106 of the council rules to provide that public comment shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual. Generally and under no circumstances shall an individual make public comment for more than 15 minutes, and to provide that public speakers shall be courteous when speaking.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Lawless.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion. Excuse me. I'd like to move to place on the docket a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a change order number 1 to the contract with Simplex Grinnell for the Bell House Fire Protection System, increasing the contract price by the sum of $2,467 from $164,150 to $166,617.
Second.
Councilmember Lawless has moved that we add that resolution to the document, to the docket. Councilmember Gordon has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? All in favor of adding that item to the docket, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Mayor.
I have, as it turns out, I think I've got 3 more here that are coming from different people, so if I could just kind of take them in numerical order to keep them straight, I'll come back to you here in just a second.
Okey-dokey.
The next one I have is Councilmember McCord.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to place on the docket a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a license agreement with CopLogic, Inc. for the services related to the provision of online reporting of crimes to the Division of Police at a cost not to exceed $24,750. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember McCord and a second by Councilmember Gordon to add that item to the docket as item number 90. Any discussion? All in favor of adding it, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Councilmember Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to place on the docket a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an equipment lease and maintenance agreement with Central Business Systems and Hassler Financial Services, LLC, for equipment for the mailroom at a cost not to exceed $9,513.28 annually.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to add that item to the docket. We'll add it as item number 91 if approved. Any discussion? All in favor of approving that item and adding it to the docket, adding that item to the docket, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now, Councilmember Lawless.
I move to place on the docket a resolution authorizing the Department of Environmental Quality to purchase Renaissance receptacles from budgeted funds from forms and surfaces to promote recycling in the downtown area as part of the Live Green Lexington initiative at the cost of $126,819. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Lawless and a second by Councilmember Gordon to add that item to the docket. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. All in favor of adding that item, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries. Any further motions? All right, Madam Clerk, if you would give first reading to items 89 through 92.
Number 89, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute change order number 1 of the contract with Simplex Grinnell for the Bell House Fire Protection System, increasing the contract price by the sum of $2,467 from $164,150 to $166,617. Number 90, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute a license agreement with CopeLogic Incorporated for services related to the provision of online reporting of crimes for the Division of Police at a cost not to exceed $24,750. Number 91, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute an equipment lease and maintenance agreement with Central Business Systems for the lease and maintenance of Hasler equipment for the mailroom at a cost not to exceed $9,513.28 annually for a term of 51 months, subject to sufficient funds being appropriated in future fiscal years. And number 92, a resolution authorizing the Department of Environmental Quality to purchase Renaissance receptacles from budgeted funds from forms and services to promote recycling in the downtown area as part of the Live Green Lexington initiative at a cost of $126,819.
Thank you very much. Are there motions? Councilmember Lawless.
Yes, I'd like to suspend the rules and place items number 72, dealing with NDF funds, 73, to get these positions filled, number 74, the Art in Motion, which is part of the Neighborhood Development Bond Fund, number 79, the Roots and Heritage Festival, number 87, again, NDF funds that need a second reading, and number 89, the Bell House, and I believe number 92 is the Live Green Lexington. Was that given number 92? Thank you.
Second.
Have a motion and second to suspend the rules, give second reading to the resolutions Councilmember Lawless just identified. Are there others? Councilmember McCord.
Thank you, Mayor. Number 90, please.
I'm sorry.
Ask for second reading on number 90.
Thank you. I apologize, Councilmember Crosby. I should have recognized you earlier.
No problem. I'd also like to get number 70 because this conference is evidently going to be happening here soon. And if we could go ahead and get those funds processed, and then at the request of the administration, and number 80, please. That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Lane.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to get a second read on item number 81. This is a release of easement required for the commencement of construction. Second. And on resolution number 83, which is payment for insurance coverage effective July 1, 09.
All right, Councilmember Stinnett.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to give second reading number 66. This is a FEMA grant and to purchase 9 homes in a floodplain. And that'll be all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks. Councilmember Blues.
Thank you, Mayor. Number 78, please, so that we can move forward with accepting the bid on the equipment for the MRF.
Thank you. Any others? Councilmember James.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to get a second read on number 84. This has been a long, ongoing project. We need to go ahead and move forward with that. And number 85 on behalf of the, at the request of administration.
Councilmember Henson.
Mayor, I'd like to get second reading for number 91 at the request of administration.
Councilmember Stinnett.
And Mayor, number 88 for our council rules so we can shore up our public speaking times.
Thank you. Any others? Okay. We now have, as modified, a motion to suspend the rules for purposes of giving second reading to the following items: 66, 70, 72, 73, 74, 78, 79, 80, 81, 83, 84, 85, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, and 92. Are there any that I have missed? All right, Madam Clerk, if you'd give second excuse me. Those in favor of suspending the rules to give second reading to those items, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries with Councilmember Myers dissenting. Madam Clerk, if you would give second reading to those items.
Resolution number 66, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute certificates of consideration and other necessary documents for property interests needed for the flood hazard mitigation project in the Fort Sumter Drive, Gale Drive, Cabot Drive, and Shandon Drive area at a cost not to exceed $1,146,090. Number 70, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to accept a donation from the Bluegrass Crime Stoppers for the attendance of Detective Robert Sarantonio in the Crime Stoppers USA National Conference for use at the Division of Police at no cost to the Auburn County government. Number 72, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Auburn County government to execute agreements with Lansdowne Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $150, Zandale Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $150, Creative Beginnings Child Development Center, $1,500, Gainesway Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $500, Stonewall Community Association Incorporated, $600, Woodhill Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $6,621, Park Place Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $5,600, Casa of Lexington Incorporated, $305, Cardinal Valley Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $650, Copperville Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $1,000, and South Lexington Youth Baseball Incorporated, $500 for the office of the Auburn County Council at a cost not to exceed the sums stated. Number 73, a resolution ratifying the probationary civil service appointments of Robin Adams, Total Rewards Assistant, grade 112N, 20.891 hourly in the Division of Human Resources, effective June 22, 2009, ratifying the permanent civil service appointments of Kenneth Johns, GIS Specialist, grade 114N, in the Division of Computer Services, effective April 27, 2009. Jody Evans, Heavy Equipment Technician, grade 113N, in the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, effective April 27, 2009. James Wilson, Administrative Officer, grade 118E, in the Division of Facilities and Fleet Management, effective June 8, 2009. Ratifying the probationary sworn appointments of Brandon Allen, Owen Branham, Justin D., Jeremy Edens, Scott Fett, Gregory Hudgens, Christopher Ennis, Robert Johnson, Jeremiah Littrell, Justin May, Joshua McCoy, Jessica Rash, Carrie Taylor, Jonathan Turner, Casey Wiley, firefighters, grade 311N, 17.027, hourly in the Division of Fire and Emergency Services, effective July 8, 2008. Ratifying the permanent sworn appointments of Jones Hyatt, James Lowe, April McCrickard, Kevin Metcalf, Franklin Patrick, Ronald Spurlock, Jason Yeager, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective August 18, 2008. Kevin Goldie, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective September 14, 2008. Andrew Doherty, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective October 28, 2008. Sean Ray, Joseph Eckert, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective February 18, 2009. Kevin Kidd, Police Sergeant, grade 315N, in the Division of Police, effective April 13, 2009. Joseph Blakely, Police Lieutenant, grade 317E, in the Division of Police, effective August 18, 2008. Gary Sinnott, Police Lieutenant, grade 317E,
317E in the Division of Police effective September 14, 2008. David Markham, Police Lieutenant, grade 317E in the Division of Police effective November 19, 2008. Wallace Hayes, Police Lieutenant, grade 317E in the Division of Police effective February 18, 2009. Ratifying the Probationary Community Corrections Officer appointments of Timothy Bowen, Robert Rourke, Community Corrections Sergeant, grade 112N, 22.520 hourly in the Division of Community Corrections effective June 22, 2009. Ratifying the permanent Community Corrections Officer appointments of Crystal Bailey, Jill Dionisio, Leigh Johnson, Sylvia Logan, Glenn Magnus, Community Corrections Officer, grade 110N in the Division of Community Corrections effective May 24, 2009. Nicholas Alexander, Michael Arvin, Clarence Houston, Jonathan Vago, Community Corrections Officer, grade 110N in the Division of Community Corrections effective June 6, 2009. Number 74. A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute an agreement with Art in Motion Incorporated for the Artistic Bus Shelter at 3rd Street and Elm Tree Lane Neighborhood Development Bond Funds at a cost not to exceed $35,950. Number 78. A resolution accepting the bid of Machine X Technologies Incorporated in the amount of $3,516,455 for the upgrade of equipment at the Material Recovery Facility for the Division of Waste Management, subject to sufficient funds being appropriated in FY 2010, and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute an agreement with Machine X Technologies Incorporated related to the bid. Number 79. A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute the purchase services agreement with Roots and Heritage Festival Incorporated for the 2009 Roots and Heritage Festival at a cost not to exceed $39,350. Number 80, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute a purchase of service agreement with the Explorium of Lexington to provide services to the community at a cost not to exceed $203,060. Number 81, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute a partial release of easement releasing a portion of a force main sewer easement on property located at Polo Club Center, 6409 through 6413 Polo Club Lane. Number 83, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to accept the proposals from FY 2010 from Kentucky League of Cities for and on behalf of New York Marine for excess workers' compensation insurance at a cost not to exceed $258,930, and for and on behalf of Public Entity Property Insurance Program for excess property insurance at a cost not to exceed $283,031, and for and on behalf of ACE USA for the International Package Insurance at a cost not to exceed $4,060, subject to a premium audit and subject to sufficient funds being appropriated for the purposes, and authorizing payment to Kentucky League of Cities on behalf of New York Marine Public Entity Property Insurance Program and ACE USA. Number 84, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute certificates of consideration and other necessary documents for property interest needed for the Green Acres Stormwater Project at a cost not to exceed $950,000. Number 85, a resolution declaring as surplus and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government to execute a deed and any other necessary documents for the sale and transfer of property located at 189 Elm Tree Lane and declaring as surplus and authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government and the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Public Facilities Corporation to execute deeds and any other necessary documents for the sale and transfer of property located at 191, 193, 195, and 197 Elm Tree Lane and 270 East 2nd Street. Number 87, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County Government to execute agreements with Harrods Hill Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $750, the Salvation Army, $2,000, North Elizabeth Street Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $600, God's Pantry Food Bank Incorporated, $1,300, Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bluegrass Incorporated, $1,300, Lexington Humane Society, $450, Lexington Celtics AAU Basketball Corporation, $250, Eastland Parkway Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $500, Cadentown Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $600, Deep Springs Elementary PTA, $500, and North Point Neighborhood Association Incorporated, $500 for the office of the Urban County Council at a cost not to exceed the sums stated. Number 88, a resolution amending Section 4.106 of the council rules to provide that public comment shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual generally, and under no circumstances shall an individual make public comment for more than 15 minutes, and to provide that public speakers shall be courteous when speaking. Number 89, excuse me. Number 89, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Simplex Grinnell for the Bell House Fire Protection System, increasing the contract price by the sum of $2,467 from $164,150 to $166,617. Number 90, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute a license agreement with CopeLogic Incorporated for services related to the provision of online reporting of crimes for the Division of Police at a cost not to exceed $24,750. Number 91, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Urban County government to execute an equipment lease and maintenance agreement with Central Business Systems for the lease and maintenance of Hassler equipment for the mail room at a cost not to exceed $9,513.28 annually for a term of 51 months, subject to sufficient funds being appropriated in future fiscal years. And number 92, a resolution authorizing the Department of Environmental Quality to purchase Renaissance receptacles from budgeted funds from forms and services to promote recycling in the downtown area as part of the Live Green Lexington initiative at a cost of $126,819.
Thank you. Is there a resolution? Is there a motion to approve those resolutions? Councilmember Crosby has moved the adoption of those resolutions. Councilmember Lane has seconded that motion. Any discussion? I see none. We'll proceed to vote. Those in favor of those resolutions, please indicate by voting aye electronically. Those opposed, vote nay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Blues? Yes. Ms. Crosby? Yes. Mr. Ellinger?
Yes.
Ms. Gorton?
Aye.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Ms. Henson?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
No. I guess it lanes my voice from now on. Not. No on 88 and yes on the rest.
The record will reflect that. Mr. Lane? Now
Yes.
you can vote. Ms. Lawless?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. McCord?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
No on 88, yes on the rest.
The record will reflect that. And Mr. Stinnett? And Mr. Beard?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those resolutions are adopted. Communications from the mayor this evening are for information purposes only. That takes us down to announcements. Are there any from the council? Vice Mayor Gray?
Mayor, some of the council members and members of in our audience may have heard the news that a longtime member of our community, a leading citizen, a poet, a novelist, an artist, James Baker Hall passed away today. For those who knew James Baker Hall, Jim Baker Hall, they know that this was a man who had a big spirit, a big heart, pep in his step, and a sparkle in his eye. And he was a teacher at UK, a professor. He led the creative writing program at the university for almost 30 years. And has been a great inspiration to many people, especially young people in our community, and he'll be greatly missed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Gray. Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to rescind the appointments to the Picnic with the Pops Commission and the Social Services Advisory Board, which were approved by the Urban County Council at the June 11, 2009 council meeting in the mayor's communication in the communications from the mayor. These appointments were mistakenly included in the mayor's report, and I so move.
Thank you. Is the motion to rescind debatable? All right.
don't believe it is.
Mayor, if I may add by word of I guess we're seeing whether we can.
Thank you. Just a moment. Thank you very much. Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. This was a clerical error during the work session. The motion to remove these items were made and seconded and did pass. It was mistakenly included in the mayor's report as a clerical error, and it was voted on as such at the end of, as I recall, a very long meeting. And so the motion is to rescind the appointments to the Picnic with the Pops Commission and the Social Services Advisory Board to conform to the actions previously taken by the council at work session.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to address that particular motion? I have some people on the list here, but the system seems to be bringing people up and down. Okay. All right. Those in favor then of the resolution, of the motion to rescind those items, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Now, Councilmember Blues.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to add to Vice Mayor Gray's remarks on the passing of my former colleague, Jim Baker Hall. He was also the Poet Laureate of Kentucky for 2 years. He was a distinguished poet, fiction writer, photographer of great talent, and was part of a distinguished Kentucky writing group and deservedly nationally renowned, including Gurney Norman, Bobby Ann Mason, Ed McClanahan, and of course Wendell Berry. So he will be missed, and we send our condolences to Mary Ann, his wife, who is also a published novelist, and he will be missed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. If there are no further announcements, we'll proceed to public comment. I have two individuals who have indicated a desire to speak this evening. The first is Mary Ann Fugit. Ms. Fugit, if you'll step to the podium, you'll have 3 minutes to address the council. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Mary Ann Fugate. I live at 1773 Yorktown Road in Lexington. I'm in District 11. And I have a brief presentation. I'm on the board of Speak Out and Rescue, also called SOAR. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our group. We're a nonprofit group that speaks out on behalf of chained, abused, and neglected animals. We provide free fencing to low-income families who want to take their dog off the chain. We also find indoor homes for chained dogs whose owners no longer want them. This is Dora. She was our first rescue. All of these dogs that I'm going to show you are in Lexington. This is Rock in Lexington. He lived chained for many, many years. We built him a new enclosure. He's chain free. This is Reaper. He lived chained. We built him a new enclosure. He's in a yard now, and his family's very happy about it. We support the new Care and Treatment of Animals ordinance, and we're very glad that it passed tonight. However, this new law will not prevent dogs from being chained for life. We urge the council to pass an ordinance that limits chaining and sets a minimum enclosure size for dogs kept outdoors. Even with a new care and treatment ordinance, the dogs in the following photos, and many more like them in Lexington, will continue to live on chains for their entire lives. District 11, District 9, District 1, this is Lucky, this is Sherman, District 8, Lhasa Apso in District 2, All of these owners have refused free fences from SOAR. They want to keep their dog on the chain for life. This is Lady. She's 15 years old. Pork Chop, District 11. Socks in District 2, he's a Beagle. Serena, Jeep in District 12. District 1, District 10. This Rottweiler bit one of our volunteers, even though she had permission to go on the property and give him some straw. She had to go to the hospital. There were 1,130 dog bites in Fayette County over an 18-month period, which means 62 per month or 2 per day. Chained dogs are 3 times as likely to bite as dogs who do not live chained. And we also have a problem with dogs being kept in extremely small pens. That's why we're also asking council to pass a minimum enclosure space law.
Ms. Fugate, you have about 10 seconds.
Okay. These beagles live permanently in that cage. Over 1,000 Lexington voters signed our petition asking council to pass a chaining law. If you have any questions, please go to our website. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Well done. And Mr. McCarthy.
For the record, my name is Bernard McCarthy. My address is 515 Harry Street. I want to say first and foremost that I oppose doing anything that would in any way reduce the capacity of our street system. Specifically, I think parts of resolution number 86 ought to be 86ed. The proposals for changing all of our one-way streets to two-way, most of which need to stay one way for the sake of capacity. Second, I object to any narrowing of Limestone Street as part of the so-called streetscape project that's going to have a piece of it dug up for, they say, something like 4 months. And I even more strenuously object to the proposal that was in today's Herald Leader for closing a block of Mill Street. It's bad enough to close any part of any street, but someone here couldn't be content with, say, taking a piece off one end or the other. They have to take a block out of the middle of the street so that it chops the remainder of the street into 2 separate disconnected pieces that would be far less useful. And furthermore, since all of these things cost money and tax revenue is in short supply, in addition to road capacity being in short supply, I think that for you guys to do anything that wastes both tax revenue and road capacity in one fell swoop is positively outrageous. We need all the traffic handling capacity we can get. The groups that seem to worship downtown as if downtown were God seem to forget the original reasons for trying to resurrect downtown 30 or so years ago were because most of the existing streets that we have funnel towards downtown, and at the time it was considered more practical to get downtown to be a destination for more people instead of having to tear down neighborhoods to link the suburbs to each other, which I still think that we need more linkage between the outlying areas, but we definitely need to keep the capacity we've got in downtown, and we need to add to it at every chance. Anytime the house burns down or gets nibbled to the ground by termites or blown up by Osama bin Laden, if a street dead ends that could then be lengthened across that space, you should lengthen the street rather than letting someone build a house back. I know that involves spending some money buying right away, but I think it's worth doing.
Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. Does anyone else wish to address the council? Seeing none, do I hear a motion that we adjourn? Councilmember Crosby has moved we adjourn. Vice Mayor Gray has seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.